Hey everyone, I'm Shaylin with Reedsy, and today we're going to be talking about how to edit a book. So today I'm going to be diving into the self-edit process, so this is how to edit your own book before working with a professional editor or before querying agents. All writers have different processes for editing their book, and it will probably take some trial and error to figure out the best process for you. So this is going to be a general breakdown of the editing process and its different stages, and a means of editing that seems to work for a lot of writers. Before doing anything, I think it's pretty helpful to read the book as a reader would. After spending so long drafting the book, it's easy to lose scope on its structure and plot. Read it like you'd read any other book to get an understanding of the reading experience and start to pick out plot or structural issues that you might want to fix. I usually touch up typos and mistakes as I do this, but if you really want to replicate the experience of a reader, you can just not touch it and leave that until later. So editing is usually done as an inverted pyramid, meaning that you start with the broadest issues and work your way down to the most specific issues. This means that you should start by editing the content and structure first. You'll be focused on fixing big picture issues such as continuity and logic, pacing, large-scale plot and character development, and removing redundant scenes or combining scenes together as needed. For some writers, this could involve almost a rewrite level of changes, and for others, it could be a bit more minimal. It really depends on the book. Personally, I find this to be the hardest part of editing a book. To me, it feels like trying to hold up 100 plates and try to, add plates to the piles and shuffle them around and move the order without dropping any of the plates. Other people find it really, really fun. For me, I find it really, really difficult. For that reason, I find it helps to make a really detailed outline when I'm doing structural edits. So what I usually do is make a list of every single scene and then all my notes on changes. I might note down that I want to move the scene to this point in the book or add a scene after it, or it might be some change within the scene itself. This way I find it's easier because I can just approach each scene by scene and not have to try to think about the whole big picture of the plot and trying to make everything fit together perfectly, because I find that's quite hard to keep straight in my mind. Next you can start looking at the scenes themselves. Now these next two stages are sometimes done together, but I will break them apart because they are different things. Here you're looking in on the book's development within individual chapters and scenes. This can involve character development and consistency, scene level pacing and flow, world building details and fleshing out the world and setting. You'll also probably want to start fine-tuning the themes and voice, deleting things that aren't contributing or that are contradictory to the themes, arcs, and voice that you've set up. And after that is line editing. This is focusing in on the sentence level, and Friday's video will actually be all about it, but I'll give a quick overview of what it is right here. You're honing your descriptions and word choice, cutting redundant words, tightening the prose, and correcting mechanical errors. It's unlikely that editing can be done in a few short, simple steps. Before either querying your book or hiring a professional editor, you'll want to do as much work on the book as you possibly can. If you haven't done as much work on the book as you can, you could end up paying way more for a professional edit than needed just because there was work that you didn't do yourself but could have, and so the book needed a lot more work. One very important part of self-editing your book is getting feedback. It's pretty difficult to approach editing if you don't know what changes you have to make. If you have a critique partner, which you should, someone who you exchange work with, at some point you'll probably want to be sending your book off to them. This depends on your relationship with your critique partner and where in the writing process you feel comfortable sending them work. You might send it to them after just reading over the book and cleaning it up, or you might make some edits yourself. You'll probably want to do some sort of a polish so they aren't wading through typos, but oftentimes people exchange work with their critique partners relatively early in the writing process to get feedback on what developmental edits they need to do. Most writers don't want to get content-related feedback after doing a deep line edit, because it's possible to have to drastically change or even delete scenes that they spent a long time polishing up. After implementing feedback from your critique partner or a few other trusted readers and polishing up the book to be as clean as you can, many writers then enlist beta readers to get feedback on their work. Beta readers are readers who read the book and answer questions about it that you ask them. People usually find beta readers online through social media, and it's a good idea because you're getting feedback from people who don't know anything about your book yet, whereas you and probably your critique partner are very familiar with pretty much everything about it. What part of the editing process is your favorite and least favorite? Like I mentioned, find developmental edits very difficult, but I love line editing. I love just focusing on the prose. And I know for lots of people it's the complete opposite, and they love doing developmental edits, but they don't really enjoy the nitpicky line editing part of it. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to subscribe for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Until next time.